Nice. And so if we have a listener today that wants to get started with Adaptive, what is that journey like?
Yeah. So we are still very enterprise focused. I think when we started our company, which is a bit over a year and a half ago now, one of our theses was to be very focused on enterprise, on like larger enterprise, because these companies, when they put GenAI into production, they have a very unique scale, maybe millions, tens, hundreds of millions of users. And that comes, with obviously costs, that are much larger, so bigger impetus to potentially optimize costs, to pack into smaller models. But although that means that you have much more interactions with the model, and we say more interactions means more data points for post-training. So part of our original thesis was to focus on this sort of company, which means that right now, a lot of our deployments are kind of deploying in our customer infrastructure. And we don't really have a cloud available yet, but you can come in with your mom's credit card and just get started. Well, not your mom's credit card, your own credit card or your company credit card. But this is something that is coming very soon, where we want to make this more available. Like we think also now our tooling is a lot more mature and could be put into more hands. So the short answer is that at the moment there is we don't have an immediate general availability of
gotcha.
that.
So if somebody wants to take advantage of being able to do reinforcement learning more easily, they reach out to the sales team from the Adaptive website.
Right now we are very enterprise focused, which means essentially reach out to a human.
Yeah.
But we are also excited to change that actually in the future and to make our technology more broadly available, because we think it is at a point where that can be the case and where everyone should be able to run this sort of stuff, even for hobby projects. Actually, I think there is even for this, try something, maybe it's really good, maybe you're able to build, a model that ends up being much better than what currently exists, and maybe that can be the next big startup that you create, that you get started. It's part of the tooling, for this sort of stuff. I think one of the reasons we are expanding now to this is, I mentioned something about original thesis was, you need all of these human data points. Because when we got started, it wasn't as obvious that IEF and synthetic data would work so well. I think it was definitely something we had in our roadmap. I think if you actually go back to our fundraising pitch, we had it as an end of first year kind of thing. But what has really positively surprised us is how well it works. Like how much leverage does synthetic data give you to, go from almost nothing to a lot. And this kind of removes, there's still value, in having all of these production data points. Like they have tremendous value, you can do a lot with them, but they are not strictly necessary. You can get started, you can get bootstrapped from much less, and you can take, a very small model, a 8 billion parameter model, to be to the frontier performance on a task, mostly entirely with synthetic data, which is quite incredible and very easy to do. So this is why now we are also thinking of widening availability in a way, because, actually, these synthetic data pipelines, anyone can run them, anyone can define them. You don't need all of these users already to take the benefits of that.